Yep.
Why do you deserve the company executive officer position?
Uh, I think I deserve the company executive officer position because um, I think my track record already says a lot as head instructor, right? I've been able to help out a lot of candidates. I've been very active, and I've been able to perform my duties. I guess you can say above and beyond. And becoming company executive officer will be able to make me bring a bigger impact towards the company as well. And as head instructor, I've also contribute greatly to this company success. So becoming the company executive officer will help me be able to do all these things in a more broader scale, and I will also, like I said before, I'll be able to have a greater impact on the company.
Great. Now, can you list the responsibilities of a company staff member?
The responsibilities of a company staff member is, first of all, obviously you have to make sure that everything you're supposed to do, you have it complete, such as your quota and things like that. Second of all, I guess you could say that you also have to be, sorry for the voice cracks, you also have to be very mature and you have to maintain standards and be professional, right? Because you are the company staff, your personal are looking up towards you. So you have to, I guess, lead by example as well. And also you have to make sure your company isn't checked, right? If someone is someone is making mistakes, you should correct them. Or if something bad is going on, you should be able to handle the situation well. Or if someone is causing trouble, you know, disciplinary action should be used and things like that.
All right. Now, what do you think of the? Oh, sorry. No. What do you think are the daily duties of a company executive officer? Company executive officer only.
What do you mean by that?
So, like, what do you think a company executive officer does?
Mm.
You told me
Well,
versus. Oh, sorry.
what they do day by day, right?
Yeah, daily duty.
Give me a moment to think. Um, I would probably say that they obviously they say day to day that they manage their company. Obviously as company staff, that's what you're supposed to do. I think I'm guessing they also have to manage a lot of things such as uh, track records. They have to record quota points and they have to log stuff. And they also have to make reports about the company's, I guess, status. Like how well have they been doing the past week compared to this week? How much quota points do they have? How many personnel do they have? They have to record a lot of stuff as well, and they also have the responsibilities of any other personnel, such as hosting tryouts or hosting events. They also have those responsibilities as well, and they probably also talk with staff, of course. Communicate. Make suggestions like, how can we better our company? How can we change this and that? Is there anything we need to change, or is there any underlying problems that we need to fix and things like that?
Okay, now, how do you handle criticism from your superiors?
Um, well, you're asking like if I were to get like a criticism from my superior,
Yeah, so
like,
say Never was criticizing you on something. How would you handle it?
well, first, obviously, I would listen to them, right, and I would try to understand it, but the most important thing for me is that I have to understand the criticism, and if it makes sense to me, that's fine. But even if it doesn't make sense to me, I will still accept it. And now I'm assuming this is like a valid criticism, and even if I don't understand it, the chain of command still exists, right? I kind of have to respect what the superior officer says. So in my opinion, I would probably just accept the criticism, apply that and learn from it. That's what I do.
Great answer. Okay. Now, can you please describe a few of your strengths and weaknesses in detail?
Yeah. Um, so some strengths of mine that I have is that, first of all, I'm very active. Most of it is because, of course, okay, well, I should just ignore that part, but I'm very active. Ever since I've come here, I've been doing very good. I've even got instructor of the week once, and every single week I have been here, except for the time I was on LOA. I even got onto like the honorable mentions. What I'm trying to say is that I've been very active. Second of all, another one of my strengths is that um, I am able to have like great, good relations with personnel. There's a lot of people that put their trust in me, as head instructor, and I have made a lot of I have a good reputation throughout the community, I guess you could say. And also, I'm able to do perform my duties well, and I'm also able to learn fast. Right? If I make a mistake once, that would probably never happen again. And even the mistakes I've made, they were never really anything major. But a weakness that I think I do have is that sometimes I can be too laid back, right? And of course, I'm working on this, but sometimes I feel like I can be just a little bit too immature when, and I'm not trying to say I'm immature all the time, right? Because if it calls for it, I can be serious or I can be mature. But sometimes, even when that situation calls for it, I can be a little bit laid back. I'm sorry if that was correct. I can be a little bit laid back, and of course, that's something I'm working on, but that is one of my weaknesses.
All right. Thank you. Now, why should we choose you over others? Why are you the ideal? What makes you the ideal candidate over other people?
Give me a moment to think.
Okay.
Hey, I'm going to say my answer now. So I think this is going to kind of stem from my first answer, but as head instructor, right? I've already kind of proven myself, right? Um uh I've been able to help out personnel. I have a decent amount of experience under my belt now. I have been able to perform my duties really well, so you can trust me that I will be able to perform my duties as executive officer as well. Also, very much willing to um to learn in this position. I don't know everything, but I'm willing to learn and dedicate to be able to learn for this position. But and I will also be, of course, like I said before, have a greater impact but this time not just individual people, right? I would also be able to create an impact on the entire community as well. And I would do this by maybe improving standards. I would be able to create a stronger, I guess, since we're a stronger environment, and I would also be supporting instructors as well.
All right. Um. Now, why is being impartial important for a company executive officer?
Partial, that means like no favoritism, right?
Sorry, what?
That means like no favoritism, basically, right?
Yes,
Partial.
equally, without being like biased. Why is that important for a CXO?
Being impartial is important as a CXO because as a CXO, you will come upon like you will face many situations of where you kind of need to be the decider, I guess you could say, right? Like for example, if there is two personnel arguing over something, right? And um, if those two personnels are arguing, if you have a certain bias towards one personnel than the other, you might choose that person. And while that bias is part of the reason, is a factor of you choosing them, the other personnel will certainly notice that and not feel fair. This will create, I guess you could say, like a kind of how can I say this? Disturbance in the group, right? Because people will be like, this guy, he's kind of biased. Like, people will have less trust towards you as company staff, and they might not even be as approachable to you because of your bias. Sorry about that. Because of your bias, and even then, like sometimes, like even like if your friend, right? He's a person. Let's say he's like a instructor. If he gets in trouble, but because of your bias, you give him a lighter punishment, people will see that and they will judge you off of that, right? And you can even get in trouble for that. What I'm trying to say is that being impartial is important you because you need to be able to maintain certain standards, and it also helps keep the company organized and everyone is trustful, I guess, with one another, and no one feels left out too, right? Because if a bunch of people gang up on you because they're all friends in like a division, you wouldn't feel, I guess, accepted, or you just wouldn't feel like you would just feel you're left out. So it's not just about judgment, but it's also about how the personnel or the company would feel as well. Yeah.
Okay, that's a brilliant answer. Sorry. We'll move to the next one. How would you handle conflicting orders from two of your superiors?
But what do you mean conflicting orders?
Pardon?
Well, what do you mean conflicting orders? Like, can you give me an example? Is that okay?
How can I give you an example? So conflicting orders such as, say if someone told you to do something,
Yep.
but you get another instruction to say. So it's basically when you like receive information from.
Okay, so like let's say like someone tells like a superior tells me host this training, right?
Yeah, then
But
someone
then
tells you
another
to do something
superior,
else. Yeah.
okay, okay, like and another superior is like uh host this event, but they're both at the same time.
Yeah,
That's like
exactly. Spot on.
okay. Okay. Well, first of all, I would probably give both of them. I would probably give both, or actually, no, I would communicate with them, right? I would make it clear that so and so is saying this, and it's kind of conflicting because communication is important, right? So I would first tell them that uh this whatever these two things that you're asking me, and this other guy what he's asking me, they're both conflicting each other. And then from there on, since I'm assuming they're giving me orders, they're superiors, I would trust that they would be able to talk each other out of it. And once they talk with each other, you know, then it will probably be fixed, and I'll probably be given a much more suitable, I guess, schedule or suitable way to do both of their events without it conflicting.
Okay. Okay, so you come across two of your instructors arguing in public while hosting a selection. What is your immediate action?
Give me a moment to think. If I came across two instructors in public, they were hosting selection, they were arguing. First of all, I would immediately, since they're in Roblox, I'm guessing this is they're in Roblox. I'm assuming they're in Roblox. I would immediately tell them to. Actually depends on situation. But let's say it's just a selection. They have an attendee, and they're arguing. I would first probably tell the attendee if they can wait. Like I would try to postpone the selection, and if that's not possible with the attendee, I would probably just cancel the selection altogether. Because of course I have to talk with them. It will take some time, and I have to let the attendee know. And so once the attendee knows if he is okay with that and can wait, then what? Wait, what? Hold on. Okay. If the so once the attendee once he knows if he can wait, then he can wait. But if he can't wait, of course, he can just take his leave. But then I would then tell them. I would then, I guess, message them like what's going on, right? I would get the I would get what they're arguing about, what they're arguing about, and then get their message from both sides. I'll get what their the reasonings from both sides. Of course, I'm DMing them individually as well. And once I get that, I'll probably get other C staff as well, right? I'll probably get other C staff with them, and I'll probably talk this out with them. And after that, uh, I guess they're arguing. If I were to guess they're arguing, let's assume they were arguing about maybe whatever is in the document or like how they're supposed to do a certain task in a selection. I'll probably, if there is a correct answer, of course I'll correct them. And if they're both wrong, I'll correct both of them. But once I tell them that they're wrong, I would make sure that they understand why they are wrong. And once they understand that, I would also make sure that they kind of apologize to each other, make a resolution. So this argument won't become a later burden in their relationship, and they will be able to continue working together in their environments. And also I would also check the document or whatever they're arguing about as well, because there could be a misunderstanding in the document that needs to be fixed as well. You never know, right? So I will also check that as well, and of course if there's a mistake, I would fix it, and that's how I would handle the situation.
Alright, that's pretty good. Alright, that's pretty good. Now, what do you think matters more? Strict structure or strong morale?
We see for the second one.
What do you think matters more? Strict structure or strong morale? Explain your
Strong
choice.
morale or strict structure?
Yeah.
Hmm. Uh, think about it.
No.
Is it okay if I say that it's neither? Is that okay answer? I'll explain, of course, but is that okay answer if I just say neither? Or do I have to pick one?
Well, yeah, you have to pick one. Strict structure.
Okay. Um. I would probably say morale. And obviously, there needs to be a balance between strict structure and morale, but I overall think morale is a lot better because if you just have strict structure, like without morale, that structure wouldn't really matter because then you have to think like, what about your company? Like your company's condition, right? Like no one, if they're in low morale, no one would be hosting anything. Uh, the community, I guess you can say, would kind of feel kind of dead. Like if you're a new member and you came across this group, you would probably, I guess, feel unwelcomed and feel kind of discouraged because nobody else is doing anything. Why should I? Or man, this community is not that great, right? Is that they're in such a bad, they have like low morale, like they're not doing anything. Why did I join this group? I feel like overall, like a better morale is that's why a better morale is better. I guess a stronger morale is better because you know people, newbies will feel more welcomed. People will be in a better mood. They'll also be hosting a lot. So not only is the condition of your company great, but new people will feel welcome. So you have a good community, and you have a good condition in your company. I guess you could say that's kind of my reason.
Okay. Um, Now, what would your subordinates say about your engagement and work ethic? So, if you were hired as a company executive officer, what would your subordinates say about your engagement and work ethic?
I think, yeah, you know what? I'm really confident that they'll speak really well about me. You know, I have made I have a good relationship with some of my subordinates, and even with those that I don't really talk to. Um, I guess I could say I'm still known around them. They always see me talking. They always see me engaging with them. If anybody has questions, right, and I'm there, I always answer them. If anybody has, is there any confusion? I always fix them. I host trials and selections events all the time. If there is somebody confused, like an attendee in the school, course, I DM them. I let them know what's up. I do role requests. But what I'm trying to say is I'm very active and engaged in a lot of areas. So if you ask, any subordinates about me, I'm very confident that they will speak very positively about my activity and engagement.
Okay, that's good to hear. Um, Now, describe a leadership mistake you've made in the past and how you handled it.
Mm. Well, I've never done. Wait, can it just be like?
Oh, it can. If
Mm,
you haven't had a leader mistake, it can be like any mistake
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you've done in the past. How you handle it.
Well, a mistake I've actually made, I guess, in the past was I rolled a candidate, but the company that I rolled the candidate was the wrong one, right? I guess I think it was like late at night. I was just kind of tired. I just kind of wrote what I thought I saw, and when I woke up, I had a bunch of pings. Turns out that the candidate was in the wrong company, right? The candidate was confused. Everybody was confused, and I fixed it. I cleared it up by saying, I apologize to the candidate, first of all. I was like, sorry for this mistake I made. And then, I took responsibility. I also apologized to Steve Stout. I was like, my bad um, for this mistake. I instantly fixed it, right? I instantly made another role request to fix it. And to be honest, I also learned a lesson from this mistake too. And that is to always double check. And it's very minor, but sometimes once we've done things like tens of times or hundreds of times, we'll just kind of like speed run it, I guess you could say. We don't really double check because we're confident that what, bro, I've done this so many times already, bro. I can like ace this easily. But of course that didn't happen, and I made that mistake. And even though it didn't cause anything major, thankfully, it did still cause like an effect. It still caused confusion. And so I kind of learned that, even if the task is small, we should always make sure to double check and make sure we have everything right. And yeah.
Okay. Now, what problems do you see within the company right now, and how do you plan to fix it?
Um, hmm. I will be honest, there is nothing that I can point out that there is any like problems with the company. But but despite there being no mistakes, no, I can already build on what the company has built off, and I can improve it as company executive officer. Even if there is no, if there is, if I do, if wait, once I become company executive officer, if I do find some problems, of course I'll fix it. But as of right now, I can't really find any, and I won't try to make up any because I can't really think of any. But my goal is to be able to build off of what the company has already built and improve it and bring it to greater heights. Like I said, make a big impact. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Um, Now, as for the last question, is how long are you like realistically expecting to stay active in JFK? So, how long do you think you're gonna serve?
Hmm. How long do I think I'm gonna serve? It really depends. School hasn't started yet, and last year when I was in school, I did have, I didn't really have a lot of stuff. I'll be honest. I had a lot of free time actually. I could, I didn't really had nothing to do. But I can't really say. But if I can't really say because I'm not at school yet. So, but if it all goes well and I find out, I have a lot of free time even during school, I'll probably planning to stay for a year. A year. That's yeah, a year. Or estimate about a year. Yeah.
Okay, that's great to hear. Um, this officially marks the end of your interview. If you have any questions, make sure to DM me, and you're free to leave. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you for this opportunity
Yeah,
you
of
gave me.
course.
Yep. All right. I'll see you.
All right, see you, dude.